That stat is dog shit.
my
Why is
God,
that the
bro.
bar for determining being mentally ill instead of a diagnosis?
No. Take the T off of it, and then it goes down to 17%.
Okay, good answer. Why would we not judge this based off of a diagnosis?
But it's not a joke, man.
Why would we not judge based off of a diagnosis?
And you guys are a joke, man.
Why would
to
we
be
not
honest,
judge
but-
based off of a diagnosis?
Okay, we're a joke.
Why would we not judge based off of a diagnosis?
Majority of people
Okay,
are not
okay,
diagnosed
good
mentally ill.
answer.
normal behavior.
care. I
Even
just
though
don't care
gay
about
man,
it. There was so-
gay man,
like,
He
Pimp
doesn't
man
care.
as a
He
gay
doesn't
man,
care. He
doesn't.
doesn't care.
No kids there, right? No
A
kids in
gay
this one.
man who has peed on people when they ask me to, but it's in a bathtub because that's messy, right? But like, this is not some like. So if I'm doing BDSM, right, and I invite you guys over to my house, right, and I got a gimp dude, and he's in a gimp
Finally, I
suit
got
with
to-
a cock gag and all
I think
that
I got
stuff.
some backup. I get to
and
go
I
pee
invite-
now. All right, I
You
yield
would
my time to
you would
Rinald.
expect
Yeah, it's not gonna
that we
fucking
wouldn't do
help
that
you.
when I invited you over for dinner, right? You don't want that because you don't want to be involved. So when you're doing this stuff out in public, you're inviting people into your private life, and that's not what this is about. That's creepy and weird.
So I just want to ask the question. I'm not in the business of defending all the fucking crazy shit that Ryan
Who
defended.
the fuck is
obviously.
talking right now?
Uh,
The new
Rinald.
person. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Yeah, I'm not in the business of defending all of the crazy bullshit that Ryan was kind of half-heartedly defending. I think that was kind of insane. But I just like, is the argument that gay people shouldn't adopt that like a gay person swung his dick around at a pride parade?
Probably that person shouldn't adopt. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I think making a general rule that gay people shouldn't adopt because
No,
of
but
an
what about
action
that
of a gay
specific
person.
individual? Would you say
Yeah,
that
if you're swinging your
all
dick in
those
public, do you
people
think
at
that's-
pride
I'd
parades
say,
are
I'd say if anybody swings their dick in front of a kid, they probably shouldn't adopt.
okay? Great.
Alhamdulillah.
So why not gay people in general? Like, why would we bar gay people in general because of this one dude who
Yeah.
swung
So
his dick
this
in
was
front of a
the
kid?
thing. The original prompt to this thing was, should LGBTQ people be allowed to adopt children? They got changed or not, but the fundamental question still exists. Why should gay couples who naturally can't conceive anyway, why should they have access to the future? Why should they have access to their children? And the reason we got was because they want to. Like, there's literally, you can search through this whole 5-hour debate so far. They have not provided us a single justification other than because they
Actually,
want
the
to.
reason
I mean,
was because
hold
they
on,
raised
hold on,
children
Ryan,
that are
really quick.
perfectly well adjusted, just like
Yes,
heterosexual
and this is why
couples.
we
But you
got
did-
into pride parade
Terry,
clips,
you
and this
did-
is when we
you did
show, okay,
affirm.
would you actually allow these people who are pissing on other people in public to adopt? You even concede and you say no. This whole LGBTQ movement, pride parades are an part of the LGBTQ. The fact that this behavior is tolerated, it points towards something. If they think this is okay, why should we think it's okay for them to be around
There are
children?
But you didn't-
millions
you
of
didn't
gay
actually-
people, and
you didn't-
we're talking about like a dozen people in your pictures.
If straight
Hold on,
people,
he
if
didn't
straight,
answer,
yeah,
he
it's
didn't
LGBTQ.
answer,
If straight
he didn't
people
answer
can-
Rinald's question. The question was, because
I
you
did.
do affirm, Teriak, that they shouldn't be allowed to adopt. So what's the argument for that? That was the question.
Because I point towards the natural relationship between a man and a woman. You're going, no matter what type of child they have, they're going to be able to. So if you have a daughter and two gay men, who's going to talk them through the puberty and all this kind of shit?
so
Exactly. It's not the same relationship.
if straight-
But you're
if
trying to
straight
act as though it
couples-
is. So then you have to provide the justification of why, even though this is not a natural relationship, why
If-
this should be allowed.
if straight
and all
couples
they've done
can-
is just
You're-
avoid
you're
it and
just
said
burden-
because
straight-
they want
wait,
to.
hold on.
We're
If
going to
straight-
deal
if
with
straight
your
couples-
reasons. Go ahead.
if straight
I'm
couples
not
can
burden
reproduce, why have them adopt in the first place either?
But this is what I'm saying. If it's a straight couple, you still have a mother and a father. So even if they adopt a boy or a girl, they're still going to have that basis covered.
So what's the reason why a straight couple should be
Yes.
able to adopt?
I don't know how many times
Well,
I have to
it could
explain
be
it. Like I
Is it
said,
just
it's a
because
different
it's a mother
dynamic
and
to what we
father?
have. This is the natural dynamic that we have in terms of a family. There's a mother, there's a father, and there's children. And no matter what gender the child is, the mother and father
aren't
will be
you
able to
kind
talk
of-
them through one, no matter what happens. But
Aren't
if
you
you
kind
get
of
the same sex,
presupposing that?
if you have a same-sex couple,
Don't you
then all
think
of a
that there
sudden
would be?
it's a different dynamic.
Don't you think there
All
would
of a
be
sudden
like
you have
a?
issues.
Don't you think there would be like reliable data saying that gay people can't raise children as well? If that was the case, that
Yeah,
gay
they-
people are
well,
just
This is
completely
they
incapable.
turn
where
them
we get to
gay,
the data. Well, no. This is a great question. This
Mm-hmm.
is where, no matter what data we put in front of them, no matter what links we put in front of them, even when we showed them
You
the
didn't put
video,
any
data
it
in
was,
front of us,
that's
by the way.
propaganda.
Wait, no,
That's
that video.
propaganda.
The
That's
video.
tent media.
That's what
That's
Ryan
Wait,
what's
hold on,
happening.
hold on.
You
The
posted
video
it
doesn't
on media
matter.
tweet.
The video doesn't
All
matter
the
because
evidence
I
is
agree
and I
that
said that was
propaganda.
propaganda.
the video doesn't matter because I agree that that person shouldn't be able to adopt. That video is completely
Yes.
irrelevant to the argument.
Yes.
So
and then
it's-
when we brought up, for example, the DV rates between lesbian couples to heterosexual couples, that just gets hand waved. Oh, it doesn't matter. Like no
And
matter
I
what
asked you
data
to
we
specify
provide in this debate,
if you could
they
prove
constantly
that that was
hand-wave.
true,
and they've
even
proven
among,
themselves that no matter, even if we
lesbian
do show
parents,
them the
and you
proof,
couldn't.
they're just going to close their eyes and say this doesn't exist.
but that's a good
Well, you could show
that's
the
a
proof,
good
and then you can
variable.
find out whether I'd say that.
Yeah, that's a good variable to control
No, 'cause
for, saying
when
that
we
it-
gave the
parents
data-
can
like
parents compared to
Jake,
couples
you
is
can
a,
pull up
is a good
Empiric's- you
thing
can pull up
to
Empiric's links
control
if
for.
you want. I can go through it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, hold on, really quick.
Teriyaki hasn't posted
By the
a
way,
single
I just
source
wanna
that
shout
wasn't
out as
from
well-
X.com,
Yeah.
by the way, Raniel, so I wouldn't expect much.
I just want to shout out as well to chat. I only have 23 minutes left, so if you want the chaos, then continue. $50. Otherwise, I'm closing down 23 minutes.
Send
Appreciate
him
the
the
$50 to
fucking
bring
Shout out to
super
Jim
Teriyaki
in
up
chat
here,
as well.
guys. You're not gonna
Send
spend
him the
$50 to
super
bring Teriyaki up?
Let's do it. Hold on. All right, which one do you want? The first one or the second one, Teriyaki?
Any one of Empiric's links, he posted multiple of them.
Yeah, he did. Okay, we'll do this one then. Hold on, let me share this one really quickly. Pull it up.
Did I haven't heard a word from Green?
So Imperius put this one in. Do you have it on your screen? So you can
Yeah,
read
this will
it?
prove his point for sure.
This is Empiric's shit. Like I said, we posted the data, but you're not
no,
interested in
I'm
looking
not-
at the data.
we're
That's the
not
main point I'm
asking
saying.
about-
here.
Actually,
just
I read
anything
off from the
empirical.
earlier the other data, the data that he did post. I have it up right now. It's the new family structure study, and what it talks about is children of parents who engage in same-sex relationships. So it's talking about mostly it's not talking about like couples, like gay couples that adopted, right? It's a distinct thing. You understand that?
Yeah, so again, you can pull up the link where it's like sciencedirect.com, and here's the
Yeah, that's the one
highlights.
that's exactly what I'm
The
talking
new-
about. Terry.
Yeah, so
Can somebody
it
put
specifically
this in,
says
like,
the
the
new
private
family
chat?
structure study collected data from nearly 3,000 adults. I compare young adults who grew up with
Yeah.
lesbian mother or gay father. Differences exist between children of parents who have the same sex relationship and those with married parents.
Wait, can
This probably-
somebody
Yes,
can
parents
somebody
who have
drop
same-sex
this?
relationships is not the same
This
thing as gay
probability
couples
study
adopting,
suggests
right?
considerable diversity among same-sex parents.
Can somebody drop a link to this somewhere?
Yeah, it's in the
it's in
back
the
chat,
back.
bro.
He
it's
joined
not
up later. He joined up later, so
Yeah, I'll
oh,
post
yeah.
it.
Jesus,
Here, I just
that's
posted it for you
All
right
right, I
now.
haven't posted
So
it
like
again.
this whole thing that like this whole gaslight is like, oh, it's basically the same thing, like multiple times. Even the analogy that we gave, where it's like you have two gay
It's not the
fathers,
same thing, though.
but it's a daughter. It's a little girl who's going to walk through the puberty thing. Oh, well, let's get some external source to do that. But that's
Yeah, it also
that
says this
need is
probability
already
study
that
suggests
need is
considerable
already
diversity
addressed
among
within the
same-sex
nuclear
parents.
family. Yeah. Yeah, so basically they're saying that like there's fundamental differences in the way these children grow up in terms of their beliefs. So this whole thing is like it's
Hold
the
on, hold
same
on.
thing. It's not the same thing. It's a misnomer. So then I
so-
asked them,
so
why should
what-
gay people be allowed to adopt?
it-
And we just don't have
Yeah,
an
so
answer.
but I mean they could just grant the empirics. It wouldn't follow that they shouldn't be allowed to adopt. I don't see what
Yeah.
the point is.
do we all genuinely agree that people that have mental illness, I mean actual mental illness, we're not talking about gender dysphoria, I'll give credit to them, that people that with extreme mental illness should not adopt children, right?
Yeah,
I can agree
probably.
with that.
Right.
Not
Okay.
probably or yes or
Depends.
no, bro.
Depends on the mental
Yes
illness.
or
I
no.
would
Oh,
say I
God.
would say
No.
yes. Yes.
Come on. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Right.
I don't know. I'd
Yeah,
want to
probably.
look
I
at what the
feel like
standards
this
are.
is-
I'm
Stop being a
curious. I don't
fucking
know.
fence sitter and just answer the question, Ryan.
No, I'm not. I'm not just gonna make. I'm not gonna
Oh,
bite
okay.
some bullet that I don't know if I agree with just to like make you guys feel better. I don't care. I'm gonna be intellectually
So you
honest,
never
even
thought
in
about
spite
this?
of you.
People with mental
So you
illness
don't
probably
think
shouldn't adopt children, Ryan?
What type
mental
of
illness is a very
illness
broad
are we talking
category.
about?
All right.
What you don't understand is most people have some form of mental illness, probably, especially you guys.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Great. So
Yeah,
you're a
no.
doctor, Ryan?
You guys have
I
Ryan
don't think I need
derangements.
to be to
Yeah,
know that
so
you
then shut
guys
up, Ryan.
have. Yeah.
What mental illness do I have, Ryan?
Ryan
you're
derangement
retarded.
syndrome.
I'm retarded.
Retardation. Yeah. It's a really broad statement.
All right.
Isn't it?
All right.
Yeah.
You
This is
have
from-
I feel bad every
dysphoric
time. I shouldn't even say that
apathy, I
word.
can
I don't
tell
like
you
saying
that,
that.
Bumpkin. You
Yeah.
have
well,
severe apathy syndrome.
apathy. Yeah. Yeah. Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Right.
I've known you guys all for about 6 months, the ones that I know. I know you guys pretty well by now.
This is a study
Right on, Teflon.
showing that LGBTQ plus people have a much higher ACE problem. Right. You guys understand what ACE is?
Hold on. I got
No.
it.
Hey,
What, they don't
man.
have sex?
No, mental health. They have a higher, much higher mental health problem.
Well, why wouldn't we just control for the mental health and not the gayness? Like, we can envision a gay
Exactly.
person that's not mentally ill, right? Why should they not be able to adopt?
Well, okay, I'm absolutely fine with that. We will go off of basically mental health, right? And then no gay people probably looking at the study will be able to adopt it.
Wait,
Boom,
does
bada,
that
boom,
study?
I
Wait,
win.
does that study say
That's not what
100%
it
of gay people are mentally ill? Is that what the study says?
Wait,
80,
gay
80
people or go on.
83% have a higher adversity to mental illness. So I would go off of that, yes.
Wait, no.
Yeah.
Having a higher adversity to mental illness doesn't even necessarily mean you're mentally ill, right?
Oh, well,
It does if you're
83%?
illiterate.
the odds are is that's
The
the
odds
case, though.
are.
So, would you say
but
that
notice-
should they adopt children?
Notice how many
if
degrees
more
of
likely
separation
they
we're at.
are.
Look at how many degrees of separation we are out from this. It's that 83% have a higher chance of being mentally ill. Why would that be the grounds on which we deny somebody the right to adopt?
Because when we're talking about generalities, the whole debate prompt is a generality, and we're saying if this community is susceptible to higher rates of mental illness,
Do
DV,
you
all
think
this
people
kind of
with
shit,
PTSD
Oh,
should
why
be allowed
would
to
you-
all
adopt?
these
why would you-
negative characteristics,
Why would you not
why
just
then,
control
and
for the
again,
mental
the question
illness?
that keeps getting avoided is, why then do you want same-sex marriages
would-
or same-sex couples to have kids?
Why
And
would you
can't
I
not-
want
provide a
people
why
single
would
who
you
are
reason.
not
equipped to raise
control-
children to be allowed to
can't
raise
provide a
children,
single reason.
Why
whether they're
would
gay
you
or
not?
not.
Why would you not just control for the mental health and not the sexuality of the parent?
Because you want to be a homophobe. That's
Yeah,
why.
because
That's the
if
real
we-
answer.
because
if
No one
we
wants to
go
hear
into
it.
the
Because
I'm the
homophobe-
only one who
because-
addressed
yeah,
it.
so
Sue you,
i-
Ryan.
Because they're
if I
homophobic.
can
That's
answer,
the answer.
if I
I'm
can
sorry.
answer,
I'm
if I'm
sorry.
allowed to answer,
Truth
if I'm
fucking
allowed to
hurts,
answer,
bitches.
if
No,
I'm
it's
allowed
because
to
you have
answer
no
the question,
argument, Ryan.
yeah,
That's why you have to go to
yeah.
the homophobe. You're
To-
just a
to-
homophobe, Terry.
No, it's
Yeah.
because I
To
see
answer
you
this
for what you
question,
are,
yeah,
man.
to
It's
answer
'cause I
this-
see through
yeah,
the
to-
bullshit.
answer
No, you
the
can't
question.
argue. That's why you just
to
fucking
answer Rin's
call
question.
I've been
shit.
arguing with you for 6 hours,
reason-
motherfucker.
Yeah, and then you have to resort to something that doesn't matter.
This is
Go
what I'm
ahead,
saying.
Aaron.
Rin.
Called
This
you
is like the whole
homophobic.
debate.
Go
This
ahead,
is like
Terry.
just
And
talks
then I
over
moved
it
on
and
and
just
engaged
shout
with your
out
other
homophobic,
points,
all this
and
kind
then
of
I call
shit.
you homophobic
Because
again.
you
when we
haven't fucking done shit, Ryan. Go
because
ahead.
because
Okay.
when we bring up these concerns that, oh shit, like you guys support this pride parade shit and there's a lot of freaky shit going on in this parades, rather than Ryan take the logical position and say, yeah, no, I don't condemn, I condemn that totally. That's not what I want. That's not the people I want
Hey, if
adopting
you guys
the
found
kids.
out that
When
people
we
had
point
worse
to these,
mental health, would you
when we
block
point
black
to
people for
these
adopting?
behaviors in this community, we simply just get labeled as a homophobe.
But why
They
would
won't even
you,
address
why
the
would you
conversation. They
punish?
won't sit down.
Why would
It's
you?
just we're homophobic.
But why would you
Even though
punish?
found out
we
that
point
black
out
people
this
had
is
worse
would
mental
you-
health
why
this is
would you-
akin to
would you
PDF
ban black
behavior,
people
and they're
from
still
adopting?
defending it.
Why would you
That's the
punish?
issue.
Why would you punish the whole community based off of a couple outliers and people
No,
defending it?
I would ban them.
This is
based on
not
a couple of
specific
outliers.
race.
Look, did you
This is
read
not
the
a
stat,
couple
bro?
outliers.
Having
Do you
bad,
think?
you know,
Do you think the majority of gay
Do you
people
think
swing?
83% is outliers? Bro?
83%
A
are
new
more
study
likely.
led by
outliers, it's the
researchers at
majority.
Vanderbilt University Medical Center
Wait,
and
are you telling
Vanderbilt
me- are you
University
telling
found
me
that
that's-
83% of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and queer LGBTQ individuals reported going through adverse childhood experiences
Yeah.
such as
Wait,
sexual and
where
emotional
was the
abuse
T
and
in
worse
there?
mental
Wait,
health
yeah,
as
yeah.
adults
I
when
want-
compared to
So
I wanna
people
lesbians.
who go
answer-
through
telling me-
emotional abuse as a child should not be allowed to adopt
Wait,
them?
hold on.
Is that what
The
you're
bar.
saying?
Can't go
Hold
to
on.
the
Hold on.
T's.
The
would
bar
ban
for
them
being
as
mentally.
always
17%.
Guys,
The bar for being
Can't go
mentally
T.
ill is reporting
Hold
trauma
on.
in your childhood. That's the
dude,
that's
stop
the bar
coping,
for
bro.
being
Stop
mentally
coping,
ill.
bro. He gave you the stat here.
I'm
You
Coping,
can't
you
That
know,
stat-
by,
that
by
stat is
honestly
dog
engaging with what
shit.
he's saying, you're coping.
That stat is dog
Oh
shit.
my
Why is
God,
that the
bro.
bar for determining being mentally ill instead of a diagnosis?
No. Take the T off of it, and then it goes down to 17%.
Okay, good answer. Why would we not? Why would we not judge this
I
based off
don't
of a
know.
I know you laugh,
diagnosis?
but it's not a joke, man.
Why would we not judge
think
based
that's
off of a
what-
diagnosis?
You
It's
guys
wrong.
are a joke, man.
Why
to
would
be
we not
honest,
judge
but-
based off of a diagnosis?
Okay. We're a joke. Blah, blah.
Why would we not judge
Just
based off of
wrong.
a diagnosis?
Majority of people
Okay,
are not
okay,
diagnosed
that
mentally
good
ill.
answer. Okay, cool.
The majority of people are not diagnosed mentally ill.
Yeah,
deny that?
interesting.
Yeah,
I
that's the
agree.
The totality of the population, perhaps. But if you look at these couples here, bro, Teriak just gave you the fucking results right now, man.
Yeah,
Do you
the
believe
results.
that
The
these
results aren't
individuals
saying
should-
what the results aren't
So,
saying
okay,
what you're saying. It
schizophrenia.
says.
The 83
Do you
people.
think
I'm sorry.
that
I'm sorry,
they
Jake.
should? Do you think that they should adopt children, schizophrenics? Yes or no?
Schizophrenics? Yeah,
Yes.
probably not.
Probably not, right? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
okay.
So that's a mental illness.
Yes, but they were diagnosed with
But do you think-
schizophrenia.
What about
They weren't.
PTSD?
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
but- What about
diagnosed with
PTSD?
schizophrenia. They didn't just have a bad experience in their childhood, like the study that you just showed
Jake,
me.
what about PTSD?
What about PTSD? What about it?
Do you think people with PTSD should be barred from adopting children?
No.
Why?
Because it's
Well,
not
that's mental health
usually,
disorder.
yeah, it's a mental.
That's an
health,
adverse mental
but
health.
Yeah, but that's
No,
something
it's not
that
a mental health disorder.
That's the
It is
study you
literally a
just
mental
showed.
health issue,
Adverse
dog.
mental health.
It's a
That's
mental
the
health
study you
disorder.
just
It's
showed.
not
That's
a
not a
disorder.
mental
It is
illness.
explicitly
No, bro.
Why
Dude,
not?
done PTSD through therapy. There's plenty
Why
of
not,
therapy
Jake?
Yeah, because
I'm not asking
PTSD.
Glenn Lawrence. Why not, Jake?
Yeah, because PTSD can easily be fucking mitigated
Managed,
through.
right? Like a lot of
Managed,
mental
course.
health
Wait,
conditions.
hold on.
Like
Can you
ADHD,
reread?
depression.
Yeah, unlike the LGBTQ
Can you-
community,
wait, can
just
you
like
put the-
depression,
can
etc.
you-
But LGBT community, usually those ones that if you look at the suicide rates,
But
a
the
lot of
data
them
doesn't
actually
say what
wait,
you're saying right
Can
now,
you,
right?
can
You're
you
adding
put
more
the-
stuff.
can you put the text
No,
of that
well,
study
no,
back up,
it's not
please?
that.
Adverse
I'm
experience.
You are
adding
building now
extra-
off
Wait, can we
data.
put can we
Well,
put
'cause you asked me
the
a
can we put the
question,
text
Ryan.
of the study back up? Can we
Yes,
please put
and
the
you're
text of the study
extrapolating.
back up?
I'm not extrapolating.
You're
anything, bro.
pontificating
I
is what
want
you're
to
doing.
No, I'm not,
understand how
Ryan.
sucking a penis makes you
are.
mentally ill. How does
All right,
sucking
this is
penises
the-
make you
Adverse
mentally
childhood
ill?
experiences. So that's
Good
the
question,
same
Tim.
exact
Well, I'm talking
thing.
specifically about the transgender community. Those guys have,
Oh, I know what I know. I get you.
yeah.
The-
When it comes to actual
I'm a
homosexuals,
comedian.
The
Yeah.
text of this just says gone through adverse childhood experiences. That's the same exact thing that you were describing that you just said shouldn't bar them from adopting.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is what I said earlier.
Wait,
we could just
what?
grade
We're
those
coping,
parents
right?
here
We're
and
coping.
it's
Now
just
Jake's
like
gonna be
coping,
quiet.
bro.
What's the question?
This
Be
is
allowed to
fucking
adopt.
ridiculous. What's the question here, bro?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the question?
The problem
was
is
muted,
that
'cause I was
you're
talking to my
saying that this 83% of 83% of gay people reporting adverse childhood experiences should bar them from adoption, but you just said somebody with PTSD, which is just an adverse mental reaction, shouldn't be barred from adoption. Why not?
Well, I never
Well,
said
no,
that. But
yeah, Tarek didn't say that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Jake, why?
Yeah, I told you that earlier. So
You told me what?
So when it comes to PTSD, it's usually a mental illness that has like trauma, not necessarily fucking the biggest ones. The biggest ones usually come from like war, etc. Right? You have those components there, but a lot of
And
the
it comes
ones
from
that
a lot of other things like childhood trauma, right?
Well,
Like
somebody's
emotional
PTSD
abuse.
from war is going to
well,
be way more
no, not
experienced than
emotional
somebody's adverse
abuse,
From
Ryan.
lesbian
from
mothers?
being bullied for
Yes.
being
Yeah,
gay.
yeah, like single parent households, you can make an argument that they're traumatized through PTSD from the bad raising of their kids. Or I'm sorry, of their parents.
The point
but-
is that
but nevertheless, hold
83%
on, but
is
nevertheless-
made up of a lot of different things, and you don't think all
No.
those things should be banned. So you can't use that. You can't say 83% of gay people from based on that study should be barred from adopting kids, right?
No, I'm not. Look again. That's not my crux of the argument. The
No, you
crux of
think
the
all
argument
gay
is
people
when-
should be because of less than
Well, when it comes to
83%.
the
They
stats,
might have
outside-
some mental.
Yeah, outside of the
adverse
stats, when it
experiences.
comes to like LGBT and specifically transgenders, the transgenders are usually the ones that, like I showed you the gay pride parades, they're usually the ones that are willing to show their ding dongs in front of children.
Those people
Totally
will
100%.
all look cis to
100%.
me.
Yeah, but they're 100% okay with scrolling around in
Based
in
on what?
fucking-
Based on what?
well, based off of what we see in anecdotal evidence, Ryan. I showed you
All
plenty
those
of
videos.
of
What?
that,
I
Ryan.
didn't even see any trans people in those videos.
How do you know they're not trans? Isn't that
Well,
identification?
none of them look trans. I don't know. They
Oh,
like,
they didn't
all
look
seem
trans, so
like-
you're judging them.
Yeah. I'm
You
trying-
are?
trying to
Yeah, but
assume
isn't
they're
that an
gender?
identity? So, like, if somebody's like, I can identify
That
as
one
trans right
lady
now, and
did
I'll be
look like a
trans, right?
dude.
This isn't
Ryan?
gonna work for
Why
you.
would
You,
you-
No,
you,
it's
you
dude,
can't.
Ryan.
You can't adopt a worldview you don't understand to try to critique mine. Like,
Oh, is that what it is, Ryan?
yes.
Okay, Ryan. So, nevertheless, you can actually judge the people in those videos whether they're trans or not, right, Ryan?
I don't know if they're trans. They don't appear
well,
trans
okay,
at
but
face
you-
value. I could be
okay.
wrong, but
You could
none of
be
them
wrong,
seem
but,
trans.
but let's say all of them were trans, Ryan. Let's say they all were
Okay.
trans.
Why would if
Okay, so-
everybody in all the videos you showed me were trans, it still wouldn't justify barring trans people as a class from adopting
Uh-huh.
children. It just
Even
wouldn't.
though they're showing their ding dongs in
You-
front of
even if you
children.
showed me 100
So-
trans people, it wouldn't bar trans people as a class, right? It-
what about
how
how
about
many-
those 100
how many-
trans people?
So,
How many
So-
ding-alongs at a Chuck E. Cheese has to be shown to kids before we shut down Chuck E. Cheese?
1/2 of one.
no, Ryan,
I mean,
go ahead.
we should just fire that person from the Chuck E.
Yeah.
Cheese, right?
if this was any other business,
No, no,
if this was
no.
any
No,
other
but
business,
Ryan, how,
Not
If
even
a
a
child
business,
walked
I'm
into a
saying,
bar,
Ryan,
they would
no,
lose
the
their
question,
fucking liquor
kids.
license.
Ryan, how many ding dongs at a
No,
Chuck
but-
E. Cheese before we shut down that Chuck E. Cheese, Ryan? How many?
When
of
Chuck
them?
I mean,
E.
wait, why don't
Cheese,
why can,
motto
are we not
is
able to like
so
remove
Ryan,
this
answer
person
the
from the
question,
Chuck E.
Ryan.
Cheese?
How many
Dude, if you
ding
show your
dongs?
ticket at Chuck E. Cheese, you're gonna get
10?
arrested.
100, 200, 300?
If
How
you show
much?
it at a pride parade, that's perfectly fine.
Ryan, how many?
This logic,
Ryan?
this
Would
logic
you be
also
allowed
applies
to
to
show
street
your
people. I don't know how they think.
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
about.
Okay,
wanna-
that's fine.
yeah.
Street
We've no
people
issue
that are
calling
doing-
this out, Brandon. We don't defend the behavior, Brandon.
Yeah,
Nobody's
Brandon,
defending
I-
it. You're
Ryan's
talking
been
to
defending the
ghosts.
behavior.
I think
Ryan's been
Teriyaki is
defending the
actually
behavior.
schizophrenic here.
Brandon.
Nobody is
So like
saying
we're
that,
not,
Teriyaki.
so like we're not going to
Nobody's
hold
saying
the
that.
actual people. The actual people.
You're getting
committing
blown the
act on
fuck out
public
right now.
streets.
You've been getting
We're not gonna,
destroyed
yeah, we're
for
not
the
going to
last
hold.
hour,
We're not going
bro.
to
I
hold
don't
the
know why
people
you're
on the
still
streets
yapping. Every
committing
time
to
you
this
bring up a
act.
stat, you get
We're
blown
not.
the
We're
fuck
not
out
going
on
to.
it.
We're not going to hold the kids.
We have
Yeah, we're not going to
pinpointed
hold the actual
exactly
people
the issue with your
accountable. We're not going to
appearance.
hold the
I
actual
even
people
granted
committing
the
the act
appearance
accountable.
and
We're going to
still
hold the
showed you
parents
how
of
it
the
doesn't
children that
follow
are at that parade.
that
But
gay
then equally
people
enough,
should
if the parents
not
don't bring
be
the kids to
able
the
to
pride parade,
adopt, right?
they're not allies. They're
I do wanna-
homophobic.
I
You
do
see
wanna
how
bring
fucked
up
up the logic is?
the
You see how
study-
fucked up your logic
You're
is?
getting blown the
Okay,
You
fuck
can't
out.
condemn
Shut the fuck
PDFs.
up, bro.
You
You've been
can't
getting blown
condemn
the fuck out
PDFs.
this whole
Yeah,
conversation.
exactly. Yeah.
The study
Nobody's
that you
defending
cited-
PDFs. You're schizophrenic. You're
Nobody
speaking
said
two
what?
voices
Nobody
in
said
your
what?
head right now.
Nobody said
Nobody's
what?
defending
Nobody said
that.
what? Nobody said what?
Nobody's defending pedophiles. Nobody's doing that.
I don't know
Okay,
about
so
that.
who do we blame? Who do we blame for naked people being on the streets? Who do we blame?
You blame the person that's doing that.
Okay, but then Ryan was
Yeah, so
just blaming
do
the
you
kids'
disagree with
parents.
that? Hold on, do you
Ryan
disagree
was
with that? Hold
claiming
on,
that-
hold on, do you
Ryan
disagree with
was
that?
blaming the
Do you
kids'
disagree
parents.
with
So what
that?
the fuck
Do
are you
you-
talking about?
do you
Who
disagree with
has
that?
voices in their head, Brandon?
Do
Who
you
the fuck has
disagree with
voices in their
that?
head,
Do you
Brandon?
disagree with that, Terry?
Who has voices in their head
Do
now,
you
Brandon?
disagree with
Who
that?
has voice in your head?
Do you disagree
You
with
have
that?
voice in your
Hey,
head.
dumb fuck. Hey, dumb fuck.
Do you
Let's see
have
if you can
voices in
answer
your
a
head,
yes or no.
sir?
Do you disagree
Do
with
you
that?
have voices in
Do
your
you
head?
disagree with that?
In your head.
Oh, he's mad. Okay.
In your
Can't
head.
answer a basic yes or no question.
Zombie.
Oh,
No.
now he's
Brandon.
crashing out.
So
Brandon,
I'm
how
sorry.
many ding dongs? How
I'm
many
sorry,
ding dongs does somebody have to show at a Chuck E. Cheese before that Chuck E. Cheese gets shut down, Brandon?
I'm sorry to add
many
any
did?
amount of empiricism
Hold on, I didn't
to
ask
this
you, bro.
panel.
I didn't ask you. I asked
fire,
Brandon.
like Ryan said, you fire the person.
This
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's not my. No, that wasn't the question, Brandon. That wasn't the question. How many
Dodge,
ding
duck, dip, dog,
dongs
dodge.
needs to be shown at a Chuck E. Cheese before that Chuck E. Cheese shuts down, Brandon?
Why would the I don't think
How
there's
many,
a,
Brandon?
why would it
How many?
need to be shut down?
How many?
I disagree with the premise of the question.
Exactly.
Brandon, that's the thing.
You fire the person and you lock the person up.
Okay.
Why would you shut it
So,
down?
Brandon-
You know, these guys showing their dong. Why would you shut it down?
So
now make the analogy to gay people and show how that entails that they shouldn't be able to adopt.
Okay,
Pride
so
parades.
at a
to the
Chuck E.
topic.
Cheese,
parades.
Brandon, really quick.
parade.
At a
It is
Chuck E.
because
Cheese,
of
how?
kids.
Okay, if
No,
if two
answer-
homosexual,
it is
no, I'm-
because
I'm
one
gonna
person
correlate
waves
this.
their
Answer what
cock
I
in front of
just
a
said.
kid. That's
I'm
the
gonna
whole
correlate
reason.
this, Brandon.
Pride parade.
If two homosexuals
Okay,
were
pride
having
parade.
sex at a Chuck E. Cheese, how many times does Chuck E. Cheese allows that until they shut down? How much
I'm
gay
agnostic.
sex?
Let's say I'm agnostic.
No, I'm not talking about religion.
No, I'm
How much
agnostic.
gay sex will you say? Yeah, that Chuck E. Cheese should probably be shut
I'm
down because they're
agnostic.
allowing it.
I'm agnostic.
Oh, okay, so you don't have an answer.
Yeah,
you just
so-
won't answer the
so-
question.
so
yeah.
what-
So like that's why it goes back to this whole thing. We can't trust these people around kids. We cannot trust these. We cannot trust
So
these
what I
people
wanna
around
know
kids
is-
because they think
what
it's
I-
perfectly fine to
what I-
piss
what I
on other
wanna know
people
is-
in the middle
right, what I
in
wanna
broad
know is-
daylight,
shows-
in the middle of
What
the
I want to
streets.
know is, right? Let's
Yeah.
see if you can actually give a valid argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the conclusion being
Yeah.
that gay people shouldn't be able to adopt, right? Give that argument. What's premise
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, so again, like I said, it goes to this whole thing. When we point out these behaviors, we just get called homophobic. These behaviors that are clearly
So
detrimental.
because somebody
to, like,
calls you
should we trust these
homophobic,
people?
therefore
So should
gay
we
people shouldn't
trust
be able
these
to
people?
adopt? Are you
Should we
actually
trust these
retarded?
people with children? So the question is, should we trust these people with children? We point these behaviors like they clearly don't understand this whole concept of
Do you know what an
not
argument
like,
is?
like twerking in public, not having
you know what an
nudity in
argument
public,
is?
So
not having
has-
people
You're just
pissing
rambling.
on each other in the middle of the street in broad
You're just
daylight
rambling.
around
Just
children.
out of-
They
just
seem
out
to
of
have no
curiosity,
issue with this with children.
did
So if they-
anybody-
You do
if
not
they
know
aren't
what an
even able
argument
to
is. Here, let me
understand
walk you through
that
what an
that-
argument
that
is.
shit is
He
wrong
asked
and you
you-
shouldn't
Did
do that shit
anybody-
to
Let me
kids.
let
Then
me-
why the
let
fuck
me-
should we
let me
trust them with
educate you.
kids?
I'll teach
That's
you what
the
an
main
argument
question.
is.
Did anybody
I'll
did anybody
go
read
ahead.
the study that got cited? Because the conclusion, I mean, I didn't buy the PDF. I don't have the money to just buy a random study, but the conclusion sure does say that the academic discourse about gay and lesbian parents suggests there's little to nothing about them that might be negatively associated with child development.
Which study?
The study that you cited me, it's in the conclusion part.
What the
Cool.
Vanderbilt
question?
University Medical Center? That one?
Science Direct. How different
I
are
didn't
the
see that one.
adult children of parents who have the same-sex relationships?
Gay people
So again,
don't
to be clear,
usually
this
do
one isn't
anything to
about
kids. They just don't.
this one isn't about gay couples, right?
I'm telling you, it's usually the uncle or your best friend from high school. Gay people don't do bad things to kids. They just don't.
Isn't that the whole point of
Telling
this
you right
panel?
now.
Yeah, no,
No,
like,
but
your
they're
whole point
wrong
there was
because
that,
they
like,
don't know.
the skew of the studies. They're saying that we're not intended to either affirm or undermine. That's saying in terms of the conclusion.
Okay, well, why would you?
We're not here to
why
affirm
would you
or deny.
cite it
We're just
as an
telling you what the
argument
results
for-
are. Yeah.
Why would you
So,
cite
like,
it as
this
an
whole thing is like,
argument
well, the
for
study
why
doesn't say
it should
this
be
is
banned
against the
then?
argument. Yeah, no, the whole thing of like, well, the study doesn't say this is against it. The study's just presenting the evidence. And as you said, this is like we're trying to do it in
The
good
study
faith. We
doesn't
use this
support
handwave
your
everything.
arguments.
Same way with
is
the
what I'm
prize.
saying.
No,
This is the
we're pointing
conclusion
towards
of the
it,
study
like,
that
this is
you
going to be a
cited.
negative outcome towards the child.
It's not. It
This
doesn't
this
say
is
negative.
This is all the stuff that we're piecing together.
It doesn't
because
say
no one in
negative.
academia dare do a study that would come out. Like we're only seeing it now.
Why are
with
you
the whole
citing
trans thing,
studies if you're
that
saying
was
they're
over
never gonna agree
190,000
with you?
people.
You're
That
saying
proves
there's
that, yeah, that
the
proves.
academia
Why would
is
you-
not gonna
why would
publish
you
any
cite
data
a
that
study
supports
if
you.
it's not gonna agree with you?
Using data that supports you.
proved, yeah, the fact that you like keep constantly have to keep over talking. The fact that, like I said,
Bro,
this whole study.
I can't believe you're
yeah,
saying that to
yeah,
me.
This whole study, the conclusion is saying we're not for or against. We're just providing the data.
Why-
And the data shows that it's clearly a negative outcome.
No, first of all, no, it doesn't say
Yes.
negative anywhere. And second of all,
okay,
where does
yeah.
why
So
would you
if you're-
cite
if
me?
you've got
Why
mental
would you
issues
cite
from
me
the- from your
academia?
ideology,
Why would you
if you have
cite
mental
me?
issues
Why would
from
you
your
cite me
ideology,
academia?
do you not think that's
Why would
that
you?
shouldn't be?
Why would you cite me
that's not evidence?
academia if you think that academia is never going to agree with any of your conclusions? Why would you even cite it?
I'm saying the conclusion, because you made the claim that's like, okay, you know, that they're not actually affirming their position. The study that they linked is not actually affirming their position. The conclusion says we're not affirming or denying. We're just presenting the case.
Right.
And Ryan was making the case that there's no negative impacts to having same-sex marriage. But as we see from the study,
No,
there
I
are
said on
negative impacts.
aggregate.
There are negative
Well, this isn't about
stigmas and associations
study.
with it.
This study is not
So,
about same-sex
yeah.
couples adopting. To be clear, first of all,
Yeah.
this study that you're talking about is not about same-sex couples adopting.
Okay.
Just to be clear. Second of all, with the evidence I provided earlier,
It is.
it's not. It's about children who have a parent who is in a same-sex.
Okay, so how different are the adult children of parents who have same-sex relationships? Okay, glad we cleared that up.
adult
Ryan.
children. Adult children of parents who have
Yes.
same-sex relationships.
Yes.
Versus children being
So
adopted
it is same
by
sex. So it is same
couples.
sex. So it is same sex, correct? It is
Not
same
necess- I mean,
sex,
wait,
correct?
There are people having
Not
same-sex
necessarily.
relations. That
You
doesn't
see
mean
the
they
way you
have two
tried to
parents.
disagree
It
with
doesn't
what
mean
the
they don't have
title of
two-
the study
It's not the
was.
same as having two
Do
gay
you not
parents
see
adopt
that?
you.
That is
You see that's
crazy,
not the
Ryan.
same as
That
two
is
gay parents
crazy.
adopting
You
you,
can't
right?
even accept
Teriyaki,
what the title
I
of
know
the
you
fucking study
understand
was.
this. I
You know what I'm
know
saying?
you understand
But
this.
I do have to say, we have reached our final minute. Like I said, we didn't reach the $50, so we're not going to be continuing for another hour. But I do want to say, appreciate
bye,
the Jake
Teriyaki.
for hosting the debate. I want to
course.
give a shout out to Ryan for. But I do appreciate the fact that you were actually able to come in and enter the arena. Just unfortunate it wasn't actually a proper argument to be made. But other than that, thanks for having me, Jake. Appreciate everyone on the panel.
course.
10th Man, Glenn, Pumpkin, Jake, everybody. Appreciate you all. And with that,
Wow,
I'm out.
left me out.
Have a good one, bro. Have a good one.
Sorry, I have to
Gl-
edit that out later, Jake. That was
And then one.
Dude,
remaining
that
spot.
yeah, man. Fucking that's unfortunate. But anyways, Glenn, you were shooting out some arguments here in the back.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give
I'll
Glenn
just-
Glenn the
I'll
stage
just-
here.
Can you hear me?
He's
Mic check.
he's
All
been
right, cool.
very patient on this, so let's let him talk.
Well, I mean, I just listed, the at least four, things that.
Where's all this stuff come from? Where are you copying this from?
From research.
What research?
I mean,
Why don't
you
you
can
post
just
it?
right there to Mark. Cites the guy from University of Texas in 2012. 2018, the Williams Institute. CDC 2019. The Catholic University of America 2015. So I mean, the data, like the sites are there, the sources are cited. So just based off of that, the conclusion basically says that although these children are going to be loved and nurtured and cared for, they do still have some struggle with functioning in traditional heterosexual relationships and other social, development, like not being able to regulate, emotions and where was it at? Yeah, emotional control and sexual
I don't
development.
think Glenn did this research. I'm just gonna say that out for
Well,
I don't
dude,
care
how
what
about
you
you
think,
just
Glenn
how
did. I
about
think
you
he's-
just how about you just let him talk, bro?
How about
he's
you
been
how about you
patient.
just
Hold on,
how about you
Ryan,
just
Ryan,
like
Ryan,
argue
Ryan,
against what I
Ryan,
provided?
Ryan,
How
Ryan.
about
He's
you
been
just address
Ryan.
what
He's
I
been
provided?
patiently
I don't give a
waiting.
fuck.
Bro, he's being quiet.
Well, dude, no,
Ryan,
no,
just
dude,
address
Ryan,
what I
you've been
provided.
talking this whole time. Let Glenn. He's been
Yeah, I've had
patiently
enough
waiting.
of Ryan. You guys are all cool. I'm taking off. Please don't let
Bye,
Ryan
10th man.
speak for gay people. I got.
You don't have to
I
blame
can't
gay
listen
people.
to
You
him
have
anymore.
to throw
No,
all
I'll
other
be
gay
watching.
people
Shut
under
up,
the bus.
Ryan,
I just
let him
can't
talk.
be up
Make
here
them
because
feel
I want to
better.
scream at you all the time. I want to scream at
Yeah, I
you
know.
all
I
the
love
time,
you
and
too,
it makes
buddy.
me
Be safe.
uncomfortable. No, you're a despicable person.
Okay.
One of us is for sure.
Glenn, go ahead and continue, bro.
Well,
Before
I
you
just
were
wanted to
rudely
know if
interrupted.
Brian could actually, address any of the points that I made in the back chat. With identity.
I don't know.
the
I mean, we
confusion
can
and
look at some of the
psychological
studies.
stress
Let's do it.
from the William
I
Institute.
know the Regnerus study. I know this one's been largely discredited, but we can look at why if you want to. The first one.
No, I just want you to
number one.
address the study, not what you think of the study.
Well, I'm telling you that my understanding is that it's been discredited by like a lot of other like people who actually do research.
What other?
But
Whoa,
do you want to
who are
find
they?
why?
No, I want you to address the study. Like, if that's the outcome,
Let's see. The study was met with
Isn't that
considerable
not a
criticism from
concern?
many academics and scholarly organizations. Of note, only 2 children in the study had actually lived with homosexually partnered parents for their entire childhoods, because many of the same-sex partner parents were in previous heterosexual marriages. Thus, negative outcomes or events cannot be attributed to having same-sex parents, because many of these children also spent their childhoods with opposite-sex parents and experienced family disruptions and parental divorce. A 2015 reanalysis raised serious questions about the validity of the study, finding misclassification of families, inconsistency in answers suggesting mischief, and evidence that many respondents did not live with their non-heterosexual parents. When these cases were excluded, differences in outcomes between children raised by parents in opposite sex and same-sex relationships largely vanished. Wow, look at that. Are you going to engage with that, Glenn?
no,
Ryan,
you
can you
still
link
didn't
that
engage what
somewhere?
I presented. Because
Yeah, I will. It's a Wikipedia article about his study. The study.
so
that he's
you did a
referencing.
Wikipedia article. I went to the article.
And you posted a paragraph, so I think mine's actually more reliable.
No,
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
you did kind of just copy paste a paragraph from it. But-
Yeah, I did. But
From his
again,
quote unquote research.
So you don't want to address any of it.
I just did.
No, you.
No, you
addressed
just read it.
what Wikipedia said.
Brian, you just read it.
Read it.
Yeah, so yours came from some other source, and I came from Wikipedia. I rebutted with something from Wikipedia. So now you can rebut from something else if you want. You can find something a different
The
source.
fact that you don't
Okay.
even want to address it, I'm just saying, if this is
I am.
true, in a hypothetical
I
world,
still would,
I'll give
if
you
this was
that.
true, I still wouldn't block gay
In a
people from adopting
hypothetical world,
children.
If this is true, would you want people to adopt children? That would
I
be
still wouldn't
potentially
stop gay
setting
people
them up
from
for
adopting
failure.
children, even if this study was good.
Okay, Jake, I appreciate you letting me on. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, dude, of
but
course.
I appreciate you letting me
Hey,
on.
bro, follow the channel.
See you right now.
I've never seen you before, but I would welcome you back on, man. You seem like a progressive that is always welcome on here, bro.
I don't know if
We
I'd
need
call
more-
myself a progressive, but I found you through
Or-
Ryan, so
A left winger,
yeah,
bro.
sure.
So I'd love to have you back on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
Take
it.
care.
Yep, you too.
Take care, bro.
Holy.